The absolute Bat family is going to be almost complete within the next couple of months. Because not only do we have the Robins being characters from the Bat family in the main universe being brought to be antagonists towards Absolute Batman, thanks to Deathstroke and the Joker in this universe, and they have mechs apparently, and Power Ranger suits, but we're getting not just Catwoman, but we are getting Absolute Batgirl, or so it seems, and Absolute Cassandra Kane in ways that we have not seen yet. And I am incredibly excited for the future of Absolute Batman, because the comic has been absolutely phenomenal, and the current Strawman arc has been very, very interesting, and could potentially be the best arc of this story yet. And I can't wait to just discuss it with you guys today. But before we do that, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell for updates on future videos. Really helps, and it shows you guys enjoy the content I make here on the channel and shows you want to see more. So let's just get right into it. First, let's just immediately talk about the Robins, the Absolute Robins. This was introduced to us in Absolute Batman issue, 19, where Absolute Deathstroke, being brought in by the mayor and backed by, Jack Grimm, aka the Absolute Joker, created the Robin program and grabbed 5 specific characters to be trained to be Robins. And the characters, who are they? It's Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, Tim Drake, Stephanie Brown, and Duke Thomas, all members of the Bat family in the main universe, with, Dick Grayson eventually in the main universe being Robin turned Nightwing, Jason Todd, Robin turned Red Hood, Stephanie Brown being Spoiler, then Robin for a bit, then Batgirl, then Spoiler again, and now currently another Batgirl alongside Cassandra Kane in the mainline universe. I skipped over Tim Drake. He's Robin. Red Robin sometimes, but it is what it is. I don't know. It's confusing with Tim Drake sometimes. He was Robin, now he's not. Sometimes he is. Then there's Duke Thomas, who is the Signal. So these are all members of the Bat family, but there are those missing. Barbara Gordon and Damian Wayne and Cassandra Kane are missing. Those that are usually around Batman. Damian, he can't be born yet. Batman is too young in this universe, so we're not getting Damian. But Scott Snyder did say he has plans to find a way to integrate Damian into this universe in a different way. So my thing is potentially cloning. I feel like that's where we're going to go with Damian in the Absolute universe. But Barbara Gordon is not going to be Absolute Batgirl. That was a red herring with what Scott Snyder said about the potential of Batgirl showing up. Because Barbara Gordon is not going to be Batgirl. She is going to be the Bat. That's going to be her code name in this universe, which opens up the potential of Batgirl being Cassandra Kane, which we'll get into later. So, with what was revealed in a recent convention, in issue 24 of Absolute Batman, making it basically over 2 years of publication for Absolute Batman, Barbara Gordon is going to take up the mantle of the Bat, having the whole yellow symbol, and she's going to wear her father's trench coat jacket, taking on the mask that Bruce left behind at the beginning of the story arc of the Zoo at the beginning of the comic, and to hunt down those responsible for the death of her father. Because at the very beginning of the Strawman arc that's currently going on in the comics, Scarecrow, amped up through whatever fear powers he has, whatever fears and anxieties Jim Gordon had after discovering some very crucial information about Batman and potentially the Joker trying to create Batman in the mainline universe for whatever reason, he falls off the roof, and Bruce wasn't able to catch him besides just barely grabbing his coat, as Jim fell from the ground, and Batman was framed for the murder of former mayor of Gotham City. And this leads to Barbara Gordon, who does know that Batman didn't kill Jim, but is on her own to try and get some sense of justice. And she has a gun, the modified gun that Batman stole from the beginning of Absolute Batman from Alfred, that he modified to shoot mini batarangs so that it hurts, but is non-lethal. That's kind of cool. So Barbara's going to be a bit of a straight-tier detective, just trying to find out how her father died and who was responsible, and that converges with Batman, all while she is trying to be a police officer during the day. We're also told by Scott Snyder that Barbara is jacked, and I am here for it. I cannot wait to see that, and I can't wait to see Barbara kicking ass as the Bat. That's going to be really damn cool, and this also is the start of Batman inspiring people in this universe to take up the symbol of the Bat and take justice and save Gotham City. And Barbara being the first one and not, Dick Grayson, who became Robin initially, is an interesting choice because also in the original comics, Barbara did just become Batgirl on her own in a lot of interpretations, and just eventually got brought into the fold due to Batman not wanting to leave her to her own devices and at least wanted to give her some form of guidance. And I feel like that's what we're going to lean into going forward, with two of them eventually converging with this arc. Now lastly, let's talk about Absolute Cassandra Kane, because this is the one I'm also incredibly hyped for, probably the most hyped for, because I'm currently reading her comics, her modern day comic book that is currently going on right now, with 2 volumes out at the moment. And I've loved Cassandra Kane before, but now I've truly come to understand her character a lot more, and her current ongoing is so much fun to read. But that aside, we actually get introduced to her in the Absolute Catwoman book. So during the events of this Absolute Catwoman book, we at the end leave off with the cliffhanger of Cassandra Kane being revealed to be involved in this issue. And we ended up, before this reveal, we're confirmed that Cassandra Kane was getting a one-shot comic that detailed her origin. Obviously, it has to do with the League of Assassins, but what we are told is, for one, this one-shot is being written by the same writer as the Absolute Catwoman writer, so, like, yeah, that's going to be really cool, so there's going to be some, like, consistency with the story of Cassandra Kane and Catwoman into the Absolute universe. But the origin is effectively Jack Grimm goes to train with the League of Assassins and then wipes them all out after he learns what he needs to learn, leaving only Lady Shiva and Cassandra Kane rising from the ashes. And for all we know, some people are theorizing that the Joker might be the father of Cassandra Kane in this universe, with Joker taking the place of, Kane of this universe for all we know. But either way, Lady Shiva is existing in this universe and potentially the one that's been assisting Cassandra in the Catwoman issue, but now we're going to see Cassandra Kane in this universe trained to be an assassin and is an actual killer in this universe. So this could end up being an interesting retroactive way where she ends up slowly warming up to potentially Selina Kyle, the Catwoman, and it can end up leading into her confrontation with Bruce, having this all coalesce with potentially revenge against the Joker and Cassandra taking on the mantle of the absolute Batgirl. We get our origin in her own one-shot during the summer, and throughout the Catwoman book, Cassandra Kane is seemingly going to be an integral role in that book as we explore her story more. And once we come back into the main Batman book, the main Absolute Batman book, she will meet Bruce, and perhaps Selina and Bruce will have more of a mentorship role for Cassandra, leading her to gain that sense of admiration for the Bat in a similar way that she does in the mainline universe. Maybe she won't be outright no killing, but will at least be more cautious with killing only those that deserve it, but will learn from Bruce's example of being non-lethal or trying to better people. And she'll go through a similar character arc like Bruce, with right now he's cutting people out of his life and is fully immersing himself in the Batman identity. So I'm curious to see what that is going to lead us into. And that's really all I have for theories, because we are not only getting Barbara Gordon being a brand new Bat-themed character technically, with her being the Bat, a more so noir detective on the ground trying to figure stuff out on her own outside of Bruce, until she eventually meets up with Bruce and they take on the Joker, or at least right now, the Scarecrow and later on Deathstroke together. We have the Robins being their own thing. They have mech suits and power suits, so that's going to be an interesting thing to see with Bruce having to take them on. I didn't mention this, but Harley Quinn is helping Bruce right now. She's basically the Robin in this situation, alongside Alfred helping Bruce in the background. So that's something that we're going for at this moment, and we're getting ready to jump into her backstory soon, which I believe is issue 22 or 23 of the current arc that we're at right now. So we've got some stuff set up for that. We got Absolute Catwoman doing her own thing until most likely it will converge with Batman again, and Absolute Cassandra Kane being revealed in her book, getting a one-shot, and us getting ready to fully explore her in the future. So I am incredibly excited, and we still have other stuff going on with the Strawman arc, Deathstroke, the Joker, Penguin, Two-Face, Riddler, Killer Croc. There's so much stuff going on in Absolute Batman, and before, a year ago, Scott Snyder said that he had up to 50 issues planned for this story. So who knows what else he has planned for Absolute Batman. I'm excited. I know you're excited because you're watching this video. Fans are excited to unbelievable degrees. Also, Absolute Catwoman issue 1 apparently outsold what Absolute Batman #1 did in when it was first released. That's really damn cool. But either way, I am so hyped for Absolute Batman, and the absolute Bat family, the conflict, the joining of the forces, the stories that can be told. This is definitely my favorite book right now, but my god, there's stuff going on in Absolute Wonder Woman that I have to talk about eventually. That makes it still my favorite book. But either way, Absolute Batman is still absolutely insane, and I cannot wait to talk about it more. But you guys let me know your thoughts and opinions on what's going on with Absolute Batman and what you're hyped for in the future. I really do hope that I'm right, that we'll eventually have Cassandra Kane become the absolute Batgirl in the future of this universe, while Barbara is just the Bat. And I'm curious to see which Robin will turn traitor on the Joker, or if they all will once they see what the Joker truly is. A demon. But you guys let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. And once more, if you haven't already, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for updates on future videos. Really helps, and it shows you guys enjoy the content I make here on the channel and shows you want to see more. With all that said and done, hope you all have an awesome day.